One of the challenges that I've always had learning anything, and not just cryptography or anything else in security, but anything at all, is that sometimes the concepts are difficult to grasp unless you put your hands on it. For me, especially in computers, it's always been, I need to sit down and work with it. I need to actually do it. And that'll help me further understand the concepts and put things together. And so one of the best things I think for further advancement of study is to work with tools that can help you learn more about this. So I've created a document for you, and this will list several tools. And like I had mentioned before, it's not the ultimate comprehensive list, but it's a great list to get started with that you can use to further your understanding. And I've broken it up into sections that I'll show you here in just a second. But I need to start with this disclaimer. And you're in this ethical hacking course. You've heard this over and over again, but a couple of things. One, I want to make sure I get my view out on it. First of all, anytime you use any tools that are out there, you want to make sure that you're running them in an isolated environment till you're fully aware of what they do. And you can set up a VM and you can set it to isolation mode where it's not talking on the network. It's not talking to other VMs or your own computer, but you need to make sure that it's isolated. And if you happen to start studying things like viruses and worms and stuff, you want a completely isolated, different system that can be destroyed completely from the ground up, that kind of stuff, when you're working with these tools. The other thing I want to point out is that be sure that you're not using these tools at the office. There's a lot of companies that running some of these tools in ethical hacking, not these crypto tools per se, but a lot of other tools, are against corporate policy. So you need to check in your company's environment what is allowed. As a matter of fact, I have a friend that works at a company that he's the architect of their internal security infrastructure. They actually monitor for the use of any of these tools, and if they detect it, they just walk you out of the building. It's done. It's over. So please, please, please be very careful when you work with these tools, and please check with, if you're going to do this at work, you got to get some approval for this. Now, so what did I give you? Well, the tools that include different categories. I wanted you to have some hash tools. In file integrity is very important, and I want you to be able to explore that, not just with the tools that I gave you, but some additional hash tools that'll let you check out hashes. There's even a couple of tools that'll let you try to crack an older hash or something like that so that you can get an idea of how this is going on. I also wanted you to have some cryptography tools, actually encrypt some stuff, cryptography tools that might be important to you in your own life, tools that will encrypt your disks, tools that will encrypt files for you, encrypt messages for you, things to look at that you can look at, and that'll also help you understand some of the algorithms and how the algorithms work. Disk encryption tools, I gave you a couple here that you can work with to encrypt your disks, and one of those uses PGP, and I actually like that tool quite a bit to encrypt your volumes and manage systems where you want to have disk encryption. And I also gave you some tools on cryptanalysis where you can study some of the algorithms and how they work. There are a couple of great tools out there. Also, one of the things I gave you that you'll see is a great free online tool that helps trying to educate you. That's one of my favorite things, helping me to understand more. So when you look at this document, what you're going to see is the name of the tool. You're going to see a short description of what the tool does, and then a link that'll take you out to the tool. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, not all these tools are free. It's hard to pay your mortgage on free, and some of these tools are really great tools that require developers to develop on them. So they're not all free, but even the ones that you have to pay for, they're not very expensive. So you can decide for yourself if you want to take a look at them or not. Maybe talk to some other friends that might use them.